Today I'm going to pass on a recipe to you that my grandmother passed on to me. Grams' zucchini bread. My name is Corinne Phillips and this is Fresh Pea Cooks. Now generally my channel is all about whole foods, nourishing our bodies well. This is not one of my standard recipes. This is not one of those recipes. If you're looking for healthy foods on my channel, this is not one of them. However, it is an heirloom family recipe passed on to me by my paternal grandmother. Years ago, I was, I think, in my teens, maybe 1920, and I was living on my own, and I started a pen pal relationship with my paternal grandmother, who I hadn't been in my life for many years. And she and I wrote back and forth, and in those letters, she would include one of her recipes. This is maybe kind of telling about me. I don't have those letters, but I still do have her recipes, and they're fantastic. This zucchini bread is the best I've ever had, and I don't have nostalgic longings for like childhood foods. If it's not up to snuff, I don't make it, and her waffles are not as good as my waffles, so I don't make her recipe. I don't like her pie crust either, but this zucchini bread is the best. I've been a gypsy soul my whole life, and I am not sentimental, so I get rid of any and everything that's not serving a purpose, and I still have this. How I've kept a hold of it my whole life is kind of a miracle in itself, but the fact that I still have my grandmother's recipes just goes to show you like how important they are. When you think of your house being on fire and you maybe could grab 3 things, this is one of my things. And it's not so much these recipes, it's these recipes. My hope in the future is that I have a playlist that's dedicated solely to my grandmother's recipes, because her father was a chef, she was a chef, and she and I have a lot of similar personality traits in precision, in repetition, in a scientific way of ferreting out the really good stuff, the stuff that matters, and then making it until there's a certain sense of mastery. So I think I got that from her. But these recipes, her zucchini bread, her caramel corn, which this will make you weep. It's so good. It's so good. Banana nut bread. Oh boy, waffles. I do think mine are better. Peanut brittle. Bacon spaghetti, which is carbonara. And so I've obviously never made this one, but I do have a really yummy coconut bacon that is super good. Maybe I should try it with that. Bread pudding. Date roll. My father's pie crust, and her cinnamon rolls. These are legendary. So yeah, if you guys want to see these recipes and want a Grandma Maxine playlist, let me know, because I'd be happy to work my way through them. I think that would be fun. And I think her recipes, they're so good they need to be preserved and shared. Although she would disagree, she guarded them very fiercely. That's what you get for giving them to me. Okay, so zucchini bread. Let's get started. For this recipe, you're going to need flour. I use a low protein flour, an all-purpose flour. I haven't used all cake flour, but I've used half and half very successfully. Eggs, some kind of nuts. The nuts are optional. Personally, I usually use walnuts, but I don't have any, so I'm using pecans today. Non-flavored oil. Sunflower oil, grapeseed oil is great for this. I've used olive oil, and it's delicious. You can also use the refined coconut oil, which it's solid, it colder temperatures, but it works beautifully in this recipe. Or you can use butter. I tend to use butter just because I don't like refined oils in my body, and I think butter is way better. So I'm going to go ahead and use butter in this, even though it calls for oil. Baking soda, salt, sugar, and zucchinis. So the funny thing about zucchinis, a friend stopped by the other day and brought me these monsters. I often get these. I don't think I ever remember somebody stopping by and bringing me beautiful baby zucchinis. But they know when you're a cook and they have these garden kind of accidents, they bring them here because they know I can do something with them. So yeah, so I get these monster guys. So zucchinis, you don't need this much. These are just what I have. You need like a cup. Is it a cup? 2 cups of grated zucchini. Now when I'm baking, as in cooking, I get everything prepared. Eggs cracked, everything in the sifter. I get all of the steps, the nuts toasted, and I'll chop those next, everything measured out so that I can go back, read through my recipe one more time and make sure I didn't leave anything out. Now the trick with these big ones is they really lose their flavor, and so they're not great for cooking with, but they're perfect for zucchini bread. But you don't want to get the middle seedy part. It's not the good part. So when you grate it, just go around until you kind of start to see some of those seeds. We're going to sift together our flour, our soda, and our salt. I always sift when baking. It just lightens your flour and it integrates the ingredients together a little more thoroughly than just stirring. I've got a stand mixer here. I'm going to whip my butter until it's light and fluffy and just aerate it a little bit. Then I'm going to add in the sugar and whip that together for a couple minutes. I'm going to go ahead and add in my eggs one at a time. And I do that because if you dump all 3 of these eggs in there, it gets so gooey and slimy that it's really hard for that butter. It gets kind of coated in egg instead of emulsified with the egg and fluffy. It's about 2 cups. Scrape down the sides and we'll slowly add our flour. I'm going to add this flour in like 3 batches. Again, just so I can minimize my stirring and get the first third incorporated before I add the second third and vice versa. Okay, so this is what our batter looks like. It's really quite a thick batter, much thicker when you use butter rather than oil, but they both produce a really fantastic, rich, delicious zucchini bread, so it really does not matter either way. All right, now we're ready to fill our pans. Just make sure you get about the same amount in each one. Now, if you want to get fancy, you can reserve a few little shards of the zucchini and lay it out on top. I like to kind of drag some down the middle and make a little line. It's very cute when it bakes. Now I'm going to cook these in a 325-degree oven for about an hour, but I'm going to set my timer for 45 minutes. I would rather know what's happening at 45 minutes and if they need 5 more minutes to cook rather than cooking them for the full hour and overcooking them. In they go. So there you have it, my Grandma Maxine's delicious zucchini bread. I hope you enjoy it. I love it. It's the best I've ever had. And if you enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up. Feedback from you in the form of comments, subscribing, and thumbs up really does help us provide you better content. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.